All right, everyone. I'm Lisa Carmen Wang. I am the founder of the Bad Bitch Empire. We help women build unapologetic self-worth and wealth by leveraging the power of Web3. We have a Bad Bitch Bitcoin bootcamp to teach you how to invest your assets and make them work for you. And today I'm here with an all-star panel to talk about NFTs beyond art and the utility, the value creation. So I'd love to just start with having each of these women introduce themselves, what are you working on, and how you're thinking about the future of NFTs.
Awesome. I'll go first. I'm Alexa Lombardo. My day job is running a branding studio that's working with mainly Web 2 brands, but slowly migrating into the Web 3 space as it starts to consume more and more of our lives, and it's very top of mind for brands across all industries. But I am simultaneously building or participating in building as well as leading the building of a couple of DAOs, and namely one that I'm really excited about, which is called Her House. It's an ecosystem of women builders in Web3. So it's meant to really connect the dots between different women's-led initiatives. Just because, when you are getting onboarded into the space, that's all great. But once you're there, where do you go next? And so we help you find the right people and find the right collaborators.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Katia Zaitsev. I am the co-founder of Lexit. We are an NFT marketplace that's going to be launching in... Oh, can you hear me? Yeah. It's going to be launching in a month. What? Yeah, okay. So NFT Marketplace, I'm the co-founder of Lexit. We are an open marketplace for everyone, but we also have a white glove service where we work with athletes, musicians, and all types of industries and communities and help them provide an end-to-end service for how to adapt NFTs into their business model. We work with them in terms of understanding their 6 to 24 month goal into what they want to accomplish in their career, and then we define an NFT model for them to see how best way to adapt NFTs into their goals and whichever industry that they're in. And we're very excited and launching in a month.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Sun. I'm the founder of Background Network Protocol, which is a help sensor protocol that's allows you to earn tokens for helping other community members. We also have a GPT-3 trained Discord bot that helps with frequently asked questions and just basically helps improve customer support in Web3. I also run Skyline DAO, which is an educational community that's token gated via an NFT. And it's a community of folks, of mainly builders in Web 2 that are looking to start building in Web 3. And we take you through all of the basics from, the really sort of basic stuff like setting up your MetaMask wallet all the way into like yield farming and DeFi, trading NFTs, joining DAOs, and we have working groups where we actually go through the steps together and the community supports each other.
Cool. So question for the audience. How many of you own an NFT?
Not enough.
And for those who do have your hands up, why did you decide to mint the particular NFTs that are in your wallet? Or is there a specific one that that really caught your eye, and why did you get it? The art? Cool. Anyone else? Yeah, so who owns an NFT or NFTs, and why did you decide to mint it?
I have a startup and we do social tokens, and so I have an NFT because we created it for the creator network.
Great. So we've got art, a basketball player you liked, community. Awesome. So about education and the community. So there's a number of different reasons why people are drawn to NFTs. And I think initially for those who are new to the space, there was a lot of buzz about the art, and that continues to be something that empowers artists. But today we want to talk about NFTs beyond art and some of the utility as we really think about how we transform value. So for the panel, how do you really see the transformation of value and the impact that can have in different industries that you're looking at?
I'll go first. So I work across a lot of different industries, and so for each one, it can be very different. But on the whole, NFTs allow you to actually have a closer relationship with your users, with your customers, with your community, and that relationship isn't just sort of one-sided. It's a give and take relationship, and it's also an opportunity. And maybe this is diving off right into the deep end, but for a lot of your community members or your users or your customers to actually have a source of passive income eventually down the line through the ownership of an NFT or through the acquisition of tokens. And so that creates a more robust sort of retention opportunity, as well as just more of a meaningful feedback loop, because your customers feel like they're actually getting something beyond just your product, right? They're earning something that they can actually use in other ways. And I think, for me, I come from more of a CPG background, and I've just watched brands really struggle to establish loyalty and create loyalty programs that actually last and retain customers. But NFTs actually, they are going so far beyond that. That it is just something that it's not just you're earning points towards buying more stuff from this brand, but you're actually earning in a way that is meaningful for your life, and you're earning that based off of the support that you're showing a brand that you love. So I think it's just a really different way of engaging with customers and also building community and loyalty. But I don't want to just say, because I think everyone is hopping on the NFT is the next loyalty program chain. There's so much more than that, and I think until brands actually understand fully the extent to which NFTs and tokenization can be used, we're gonna just keep hearing more about, it's the new loyalty thing. But
so
again,
it's like the ability to evolve and grow with the brands that you care about, with the missions that you're aligned with, and have ownership in that.
Yeah, and actually earn money off of it. Again, I think on the last panel, someone said we're here for the money, and we shouldn't be shy about that, right? We all want to get ours.
Yeah, and I totally agree with what you're saying. We at Lexit, we work with athletes, musicians, not-for-profits. It's so many different industries, and like I mentioned earlier, that we define the goals in their business model. But I think building out that community for them, whether you're either an athlete that wants to start a sport or already established athlete, that's so important in so many ways, because you could really grow your fan base, your user engagement, your following, everything that you're trying to accomplish in your career. I come from an athletic background, and if I had, NFTs, during my time, I wish I could utilize. Imagine if, Michael Jordan filmed himself practicing before he was Michael Jordan. Imagine what those NFTs would have been worth, and had a Discord channel where he would communicate with, his fan base or upcoming fan base. Imagine what that would be with right now. So that's what we're doing currently with our athletes. We're very focused on sports, but also up and coming musicians, and also established. And the community piece could just really, really, almost give a say. If you're part of a community-owned NFT from an athlete or musician, you could almost essentially have a say in what, wherever they would like to go in their career base. And I think that's a very important piece.
I think all those use cases are phenomenal. I think I'd like to just add that I think that the things that NFT represent that I find to be very interesting is, one is digital scarcity. It's the first time that digital scarcity has really existed is with the blockchain, right? And before, if you had a piece of art or a song or something, or any piece of media, it was super easily replicated all over the internet. But now you can prove that you actually own this thing. And then the other thing that I think is very interesting about it is interoperability. So you can take this NFT or this token with you across multiple different communities, wherever you go, like on the internet or in real life. And I think that just, there's so many opportunities there, including the ones that were already mentioned. But I also think that identity is a really interesting, like the way you represent your identity, like which communities that you're a part of, like what you've accomplished. I think most of you have probably heard of POAPs, like proof of attendance protocol tokens, where you say you attend an event or you are part of a community and you get issued this token that indicates that you were there, right? And over time, all these POAPs will actually add up, and then it becomes your online credentialing. It becomes your like sort of Web3 virtual resume, right? It's more interoperable than a physical degree that you can hang in your office. And it travels with you. It can indicate like which communities that you're a member of, and that paints a really diverse picture of like who you are and the things that you've done, things that you've accomplished, and it's something that you own and you can carry with you everywhere you go.
Awesome.
I call that meta flexing.
Yeah.
So as we think about then, I guess to the point of meta flexing and bringing people, because a lot of people are still not in the metaverse. There are many, many people who still don't have a MetaMask. How do you think about bridging the physical world and the digital world and Web 2 and Web 3 and having them see the value of NFTs?
We'll just keep going. We'll just go in a row. We like process. So yeah, I mean, I think, there's certainly, I was just having this conversation today with someone who was like, I don't really know about the whole NFT thing. And I was like, okay, talk to me in like a few months. But I think, right, like it's there, we have this opportunity to connect or bridge the digital and the physical with NFTs, right? So actually the event that I was at where I was talking to this person, it was a way to actually verify the authenticity of a physical piece of art, so now we're flipping it on its head where it's starting with the physical and the NFT is actually the authenticity verification behind that. And so, whereas the other way around, you start with the NFT, and then when you produce a physical good, it's the NFT that is, happening first. So I think, there is that opportunity for, things to be produced digitally, and then for there to be physical goods that follow. And that's sort of flipping this entire, consumer economy on its head a little bit. And I think it's also, forcing brands to think about, wait, do we really need to launch all of these things physically, right? It's extremely wasteful. And I won't get into sort of the energy consumption around minting an NFT or anything like that, because that will evolve too. And, what is, takes up a lot of energy right now will not tomorrow. And so I think as that evolves, you have this opportunity to create digital goods, cultivate relationships digitally that then translate into physical goods, through this sort of, you're an owner of an NFT. And therefore, what does that mean? That means that you can unlock access to either purchasing physical goods or actually getting shipped physical goods, right? The NFT is that gateway to the physical, but it can prevent the overproduction of physical goods if we start digital first. And I think we're going to see a lot more brands that are Web3 native, like product companies that are starting with Web3. I mean, we're incubating that right now. We're looking at beauty, we're looking at fashion, where you're starting with the digital first. And if you're an up and coming designer, right, or a maker or a founder, lot lower barriers to entry. You're able to get your product out there, build community around it, see what takes off, and then you can go through all of these very cumbersome sort of supply chain channels and aspects that come with producing a physical good. So it just is a more, I think, foolproof or more verifiable way to actually get your physical goods into the hands of your consumers if you're starting digital first.
Yeah, I think the question of bridging the gap is something I ask myself and speak to my team about on a daily basis, honestly, of new innovative ways of how we're going to get more people involved in NFTs, women in NFTs, and also especially with the athletes and musicians that we work with to get their fan base incorporated with NFTs. And just like you said, I totally agree with, okay, we need to combine the physical world and the digital world into one, and assigning the proper utility that, okay, owning this NFT can have accessibility to a football game, you know, VIP access or an autograph session with that athlete, for example, that's launching that NFT. And that's something that we're currently doing with our athletes and musicians and etc. But I think it's education all the time to get encourage and incentivize individuals to join certain communities to really educate themselves and give them also high incentives, and accessibility to whatever their interests are is something that we're working on to engage with our current future user base and with our athletes.
I think long term, the user experience in Web3 has to get better to the point where you don't, or it doesn't feel like you have to learn how NFTs work. We were actually having these conversations earlier about like
internet.
NBA Top Shop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so like, it should be just, oh, I'm interested in like this video of this, basketball player and this amazing shot, and I don't even know that behind the scenes. This is an NFT, right? And because like today, the user experience is you have to set up your wallet, you have to buy tokens on an exchange, transfer it to your wallet, wrap your ETH into WETH, pay gas fees. Yeah, exactly. Like scan your ID and it's just like exactly. It's kind of like what I know this analogy, but like what Tesla did with electric cars. Like you drive it because it's a great car and not because it's electric. I feel like where NFTs have to go is the user experience has to get better, and you don't even know.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I'll just say two things on that point. That's why it's so important, like not just to engage with panels like this, which is great. I'm so glad you're all here, but to actually, like, if you know someone who has a wallet and you're interested, just sit down, because for them, they've already crossed the hurdle and they want you to be in Web3, because we're all like, we want to onboard more people. We are happy to help you set it up, and we were just talking about this today, how like person to person, like even though Web3 is sort of like this new version of the internet, it's actually like even more analog and, focused on that high touch, like person to person, than I would say Web2 is. So I think that's one thing, but also like we're paying the price for the UX now because it's still so early, and like this is an opportunity, right? Like I think we all say that, right? Like get in now, because pretty soon it will become really easy and everyone will be in, and you'll be wishing that you had, in there. And that's not just me drinking the Kool-Aid. Like it's honestly, this is the new internet,
And just to add to that, it's such a fast industry, and just 3 months ago it's already different and evolved. Totally. And it's gonna continue. Every day there's something new being created, which is amazing, and integrated, and every day it's getting better. Today, in a year from now at South by, I can't wait, because this conversation will be totally different, and I'm super excited about it. And it's individuals like you ladies with me and everyone in the audience that's eager to learn and want to maybe create something as well. And super excited to be here and see where the conversation that we're going to have in a year. Okay. Guess we're done.
So I want to open it up quickly to the audience for anyone who has questions about NFTs. Yep.
Okay, so I have zero knowledge. NFTs, I'm hearing, Web, what is it, 3.0, the whole thing. This is like my first time. I'm a founder, I'm starting out.
Awesome.
What would you tell a founder who is legitimately 3 years in, who's trying to get their business to basically whatever the standard is now? What would you tell them as far as NFTs and this new web that's being created? Like, what would be the first step for us to integrate ourselves into what's going on right now?
What kind of business do you have?
So I have a podcast network.
Oh.
Podcasters Network.
Very cool. Yeah.
Go follow me.
Woo!
40 podcasts on the
Amazing.
But I'm already thinking like talent-wise, right? Latina Podcasters Network.
Latina Podcasters Network. Latina Podcasters Network. Everyone listen up.
Follow us on Instagram. But I guess one of my questions is to really like get to the next level where obviously NFTs is this new web. Like, what would be the first thing that you tell somebody who's literally had their head down for the last 3 years?
Well, just at a high level, one thing I would say is the main thing about Web3 is it's about a collaborative advantage over a competitive advantage. So I think the fact that you have a network, you're already halfway there. And so probably the next step is really thinking about your business model. And I don't know if that's traditionally you're doing ad sales into your podcast network, right? And how do you then integrate that with Web3 technology where it's like, are there different ways where you can incentivize the different podcast members in your network? Are there different ways that you could integrate, community perks and I think it's really thinking through your business model of like, how do we really create more of a collaborative advantage between these networks and amplify those network effects? And then once you kind of think through that, you can integrate the actual technology. But I think it's where people sometimes get stuck is they're like, I have to put in an NFT or I have to do something on blockchain. And it's not supposed to be a barrier. It's meant to be something to help accomplish the vision that you have already for where you want your business model to go.
Yeah, and I would add to that. So I'm a co-founder of an NFT Marketplace. I'm not a smart contract developer. Get the right people around you, right? Partner with the right people. Get people that are experts in the industry into your business model and collaborate with them and see how you could get to where you would like to get to. So long story longer, call me.
I'll just also add that there's so many great educational communities now. I would encourage you to join one. There's like a bunch of them for women. BFF, we three.
Her house.
Join the Bad Bitch Bitcoin Bootcamp.
Yeah, Bad Bitch Bitcoin Bootcamp. I would recommend, and they're mostly free. I would just join one and then like try to learn and then there's like so much content that's produced by these communities, and there's just a great group of people that will like teach each other as well. So I highly recommend joining one of those communities and just like taking it in from the fire hose and then choosing what elements that you learn that you think can be applicable to your business.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing, which is like Web3 is the enabler, right? Like, so the goals that you have like are the same, right? Web3 is just going to help you get there in different ways. Like it's, I would say like community building in Web3, meaning you have a more authentic community around you versus like just advertising and just pushing ads on Instagram, Facebook, etc. So it's just a different methodology and one that I feel like in the long run will really pay off further. Not that I'm saying abandon those, traditional Web 2 tactics, but in addition to that, like authenticity, just like being open and asking for, asking people, talking to them, and also like learning by doing. Just like create a wallet, and you don't have to do it on your own. Like just someone who has a wallet. I think that was for me. I just like creating my wallet, buying my ENS domain name. Like those are the first two steps I took.
YouTube.
And that was by the way, that was in November, and now I'm starting several DAOs, and I'm launching. We just launched an NFT project, and like you will be surprised how fast like this community is just so they want to bring people in. So there's lots of help out there.
Yeah.
One, I would love to connect as a digital streaming network for women, so we're going to talk about it. But I think that I agree with you and kind of applaud the space. I think that even the jargon that is so comfortable with you isn't necessarily comfortable for us, right? So some of the terms I'm like, right? I'm like, wallet, right? Let's figure it out. But I feel like, do these platforms that you just shared about the education, do they provide, I'm talking elementary education and how to drive this car? Because we're willing to get in it. You know what I mean? I just feel like
We need the keys.
some of the folks that we do speak to are talking at a level that we're not really able to grasp onto, and then it's a kind of and we don't really take it to the next level. So just curious about the level of entry.
We literally, even in our boot camp, week 1 is speak like a crypto boss. We talk crypto. We're like, here's a slang guide. Here's how we use it. What does peer-to-peer even mean? What is permissionless, like trustless? What is a blockchain? What is Web 3 versus Web 2? It's like, what is Bitcoin and how does that compare? Like we call him the OG, the granddaddy. And then we're like, talk about Ethereum is like the DJ. He brings all the people to the party, and so we weave in culture into the way we teach as well. So, yeah, and we make it fun because it's not supposed to be difficult. It's not supposed to be gate kept, and the whole point of blockchain is that it is inclusive, and so we want to make sure that those barriers are broken down so that women and underrepresented individuals can all be a part of it.
And also, you guys are making the right step for being here.
Yeah, and I think one last thing again, like if any, like just go to a person, like come, let's go set up your wallet right now, because like that was what got me in the door, you know, and then it's just sort of like you fall off the cliff, and like that's it. You just need to get to the cliff where you're right on the edge, and we'll take you over it. You just need that push or something. You just need, yeah.
All right, and that is a wrap.
Thank
Thank you guys.